The greedy jackal. Once upon a time, there was a small village named Rajdham, situated on the edge of a dense forest. This village was famous for its greenery, a small river, and a weekly fair that was held once every week. People from far and wide came to this fair, some to buy goods, some to sell, and some to simply to enjoy the lovely atmosphere. The villagers were hardworking, and there was always a sense of unity and enthusiasm among them. Nearby, in the forest, lived a jackal. Though he looked thin and weak, there was always a glimmer in his eyes that revealed his cunning and greed. The jackal had a habit of always seeking the easy way out. Instead of hunting through hard work, he preferred to snatch others' prey or steal food from someone's catch. The animals of the forest were fed up with this habit of his, but the jackal didn't care at all. He would proudly boast about his clever tricks. Once upon a time, a jackal was wandering through the forest, hungry and thirsty. Since morning, he had found nothing to eat, and, and his stomach was growling loudly. The sun was beginning to set, and he wondered what to do next. Just then, he heard some sounds coming from the direction of the village. It was a market day in the village, and from afar came the sounds of drums, chatter, and laughter drifting into the forest. The jackal's hunger tempted him. He thought, maybe I will find something to eat in the village. People must be eating and drinking at the market. Surely I will find a scarf or two there. The jackal carefully made his way through the forest path toward the village. He knew that humans were his enemies, so he moved cautiously, hiding behind the trees and bushes. As he neared the village, he saw the lively fair. The colorful tents, the aroma of delicious food, and the bustling crowd caught his attention. There were all kinds of stalls in the market. The sweet shop filled the air with the fragrance of sweets. The basket of the vegetable sellers added the freshness of greens, and the spices of scent of masalas mingled in the breeze. The jackal's mouth began to water. He thought to himself, there's no shortage of food here. All I need is the right opportunity. Just then, his attention was drawn to a large crowd gathered in the middle of the marketplace. People were shouting loudly, clapping their hands, and some were rolling on the ground with laughter. The jackal's curiosity was aroused. Slowly he crept toward the crowd and hid behind some bushes to take a look. He saw that two strong, sturdy goats were locked in combat. Both were huge, with long, sharp horns, and their eyes blazed with fiery determination. They were charging at each other like two wrestlers in an arena. Their horns clashed with great force, and each collision echoed with a loud, resounding sound. People had formed a circle around them. Some people shouted, "Wow, what a fight!" Others were betting on which goat would win. The jackal saw that both goats had torn each other apart. Blood was dripping from their foreheads, and their bodies were marked with scratches and wounds in many places. Small streams of blood were flowing along the road. The smell of fresh blood reached the jackal's nose, and his stomach growled loudly. His eyes began to shine with greed. The scent of blood clouded his mind. He thought, such fresh blood, if these gods are tired, it will be easy to kill them. I can hunt them and sate my hunger. But in his haste, the jackal forgot one thing. These were no ordinary goats. They were the strongest goats in the village, especially trained by their owners for fighting. Their strength and anger were far greater than the jackal had imagined. Without thinking, the jackal leapt forward and jumped between the two goats. He tried to sink his sharp teeth into one goat's neck, but before he could do anything, both goats turned their attention toward him. The goats were now furious. Someone was interfering in their fight, and this was an insult to them. Both goats turned their horns toward the jackal at the same time and struck him with great force. The jackal was thrown into the air and fell far away. He landed flat on his back. Chaos spread through the crowd. People began shouting, "Oh, where did this jackal come from?" Some people started laughing, while others picked up a stick, but the goat didn't need anyone's help. They pounced on Jackal. One goat struck the jackal's ribs with its horns, and the other goat climbed onto his back. The jackal screamed and howled, but the goat's anger refused to cool down. People broke through the crowd and tried to separate the goats, but it was already too late. The jackal had stopped breathing. His body lay on the road, and his eyes remained wide open. Silence spread through the crowd. Some people were laughing while others felt pity. An old farmer said, "Greed took this poor creature's life. If it had quietly licked the blood and gone away, it might have survived." Lesson: this story teaches us that before taking any step, one should think carefully. A decision made in haste due to greed often leads to downfall. If the jackal had controlled his hunger and waited for the right moment, he might have saved his life. But he acted out of greed, took the wrong step at the wrong time, and paid for it with his life.